Welcome to Movie Killers. This is Tom.
And this is Blake.
Okay, and last week we did Iron Man 1.
Yep.
So, and after being talked out of doing Iron Man 3 as the next one, as a total FU to the fans, figured we'll just go right into Iron Man 2.
Well, you know, some people think Iron Man 2 is the weakest, but I personally felt 3 was the weakest. I liked 2 a lot.
Hey, the only thing I felt that was weak was the Russian accent. Anything other than that, I mean...
Yeah, but, you know, some actors, they just can't, they can't keep it.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, we're doing Iron Man 2 this time.
Okay.
And, yeah, so, ready to jump into it?
Let's go right into it. Do you have one for us first?
Okay. Alright, so Iron Man 2. And I'm not going to lie, this was a bit tougher than I thought it was going to be. Because it, once again, like the first movie, the writers kind of have a good, solid script for the most part. But there is one that I've noticed at the beginning finally that it clicked. Why didn't Ivan make additional arc reactors? Keep one, sell the rest. Maybe this would help prove Tony isn't a god. That basically he's not the only one with this stuff. And still get plenty of funding for anything else he wants to do to ruin Tony Stark.
It seems to me that him and his father seem to have this issue with, hey, don't touch my stuff.
That may be.
You know, it's like he's like, you stole the arc reactor idea. Yeah, and it was only like, what, 40 years after the first time?
Well, Ivan did spend, I think, it said maybe 15 years in prison.
Yeah, but that's because...
But still. I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense that he was able to recreate an arc reactor, not as potent as Tony's.
You were talking about Anton or Ivan? Because Anton was his father.
No, Ivan, the son, Mickey Rourke's character. Yeah.
Don't get me started about the Anton-Anthony connection there. Once again, Tom's nighttime podcast.
You just love shipping characters, don't you, man?
All I'm saying is, why would you name your kid Anthony when your husband has a business partner named Anton?
And kind of to add on to this point, it was also like what was Ivan's long-term plan?
Probably to completely kill Tony Stark would be the long-term plan. He's got to realize he's going to prison for the rest of his life. But then again, you got to think, he built a weapon that stopped Iron Man. Maybe we should give him a government contract.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It just seemed like that was where the movie kind of was weak, is the fact that his character, while still a strong character, he lacked, you know, good motivation and like to keep him going.
Plan.
It's like, I killed Tony. Oh, I proved that anyone can have an arc reactor. All right, now what? Like Tony pointed out, well, now you're gonna sit in prison the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or hey, well, I'm dead. Oh, well, what are you gonna do now? You're in prison. No success there. I mean, was there anything you kind of noticed in the movie that stood out that kind of...
Here's my big one. Here's the movie killer for this movie. Which is, why not build a type of dialysis into the suit? So as the blood toxicity from the palladium goes in, his blood is constantly being filtered, getting the palladium poisoning out of his blood?
Dialysis is a very... you work medical, you know that's like a good...
Yeah, that's a pretty hard process in the real world.
Yeah.
But I got to imagine a guy who built an exoskeleton suit with an arc reactor could build just something
I get
to run a quick filter
that should help, but I think I can take that a step further, actually.
Oh.
All right, so Ivan's goals, long-term, that with yours, about, you know, clearing out the blood, essentially. Okay. The palladium core is poisoning Tony, right? He knows this. It's getting worse.
Yep. And there's no suitable element known to man
at this time. But clearly, Rhodey can use the suit, or anyone else, with the other arc reactors that doesn't poison them because it's not in their body, right?
It's not built into their chest.
Okay. Why not go through the surgery room to shrapnel this point? Now you don't have to worry about the poisoning.
Yeah. And then there's also the...
his body would eventually filter out the rest, would have cleaned himself out.
Or move the palladium... Put some type of buffer between your chest and the palladium. All he needs is the magnet. That's what's keeping the shards out of his heart.
Yeah.
Leave the magnet in. Put a shroud around the inside, between the magnet and the palladium core.
Maybe still like leak through or something.
Well, then maybe you need to upgrade the metal socket.
I think either way, that's a valid point. And the concept here is that Tony could have got around the blood poisoning.
Mhm.
Now, granted, for those who didn't catch it, who may not be familiar with the Iron Man comics, this movie was a condensed version of the Demon in a Bottle arc where Tony was battling alcoholism and Rhodey took over because he just couldn't operate. The blood poisoning essentially was acting as that arc condensed, which I thought was done very well and very clever of them to do it that way. So, I mean, while the plot, I like it for that reason, I do agree it could have been avoided because, well, if you get rid of the poisoning, he doesn't make the new element because he didn't have to.
Yeah.
He's not getting poisoned. He's still doing a job.
Well, that's the thing, is he didn't have to. He didn't have to go beyond the bounds of science to create a brand new element.
Yeah. Well, he would have no motivation at that point.
Yeah.
But then again, at that point, he wouldn't have needed it.
I mean, that is his jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Is, oh, hey, look, a new element that just so happens to work exactly the way I need it to.
Yeah. Now, there is one more that it's a more of a minor major one, like in between regular and all that.
Okay.
It's essentially that the 10 rings is what gives Ivan his passport, his tickets. That was confirmed behind the scenes. That's part of
it
that.
Must have been concerned behind the scenes.
But that's confirmed that guy was from the 10 Rings terrorist group from the Mandarin. But either way, Ivan got all this information, got his passport to go to Monaco where the race was, right?
Yeah.
How did they know Tony was going to be there? How did he know that he'd be on the track? He didn't. Tony did that spontaneously.
He did not. He did not. They had mentioned Monaco before. They had obviously had to book a hotel. Through his company. His company had a car there.
Okay.
So maybe there's something on the Stark website. Tony Stark will be at Monaco witnessing his vehicle be the most pimping vehicle.
Or they just kept an eye on reservation stuff. Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of like...
Because he had to have known, because he got it weeks in advance, the tickets to get to Monaco.
Yeah. All right, but fair enough.
You know, something about, he's not going to be at the Stark Expo. He has a car there. Put two and two together.
Yeah. But aside from those, and like, like we said, I gotta say, why didn't Ivan build more arc reactors? What was his long-term plan? We both kind of agreed the whole blood poisoning could have been avoided one way or the other, which would have ended the movie. I can't really think of anything else that kind of actually kills the movie. Unless you got something.
I can always come up with something.
All right, well, sorry about that. What major plot hole would actually destroy the rest of the movie? Make it pretty much it couldn't be the same.
Okay.
Thing.
To me personally.
Okay.
And I'm merely stating this as we've had this conversation, but Ivan on the racetrack.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I understand Tony's suit covers 100% of his body. Car hits him, the suit covers 100% of the body. Ivan has an exoskeleton at best.
Yeah,
he's got a very thin, he's got maybe joint protection so he doesn't overextend or to increase body strength.
Yeah, it's especially like the Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3.
Body strength or not, Rolls-Royce runs into you. Even before you hit the fence, you're taking the kinetic impact of that vehicle to his bottom half of his body. Both his legs should have at least been, the bones should have been cracked from the impact.
Now, and trust me, I looked at that scene a couple times. I was thinking the same thing, but then I did notice when he was being dragged off by the police, there was actually signs of an exo going further down his legs, which means very well that the waist area could have been better supported, which may have absorbed any damage that would have broken legs, hips, waist, whatever. Possibly, it's kind of like one of those things like where it happened, it maybe not. It's kind of like the whole. Shock absorption kinetic and inertial dampeners. I mentioned the Iron Man 1. And how it's supposed to be there, but it's not confirmed to be there.
And then the second thing about that is at any point, Tony Stark could have taken his little wrist blaster, or his chest blaster for that matter, and just opened it up right in Ivan's face.
Possibly. Now, remember, he was in I believe that's the Mark IV as a suitcase model in the movie series.
As far as I know, third or fourth, all right, first one was the prototype one in the cave. The second one being the silver. The third being the one he premiered at the end when he fought Ironmonger. So this, to me, would be the fourth or fifth iteration.
His current one, whereas normally would be the fifth version. But yeah.
Okay, so that was the new one for this movie.
But the suitcase is, while it's more compact, it is weaker. Meaning he may not have been able to do the chest blast. And he did try using his arms, but he kept getting whiplash, which is actually what the villain's called, even though he's actually a combination of Whiplash and Dynamo, I think. In the comics.
Crimson Dynamo, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you read the comics more, you know. More on
Don't
that
call me a
than I do.
nerd.
All right, nerd.
Anyway. But no, I
Thanks,
mean,
Piccolo.
he
But,
still has the round thing, and as far as I know, the chest reactor shot
blast.
comes from the reactor itself. There's no way he doesn't have the reactor on, because he's getting palladium poisoning.
Yeah, but he can't do that without the armor on. So
I've never seen that stated. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is if it's just coming out of the chest,
Well,
the only reason he
yeah.
wouldn't be able to do it is he doesn't have the proper body support. Like, it would snap him in half.
maybe
Because the thrust, it probably knock him to his ass without the
I
armor
still think
on.
it's a feature of the suits he puts in to do that. But it could go either way on that one, and that's fair. However, speaking of that scene on the racetrack, there was a long time where the police just weren't there.
Oh.
I mean, you have a race. You got security trying to keep civilians from getting on the track by accident. You have this guy who starts literally tearing apart the cars. You would think that the police should be responding quickly.
Yeah.
And all it would take was one well-placed shot, and he would have dropped.
Yeah.
Maybe not. They shouldn't.
How
go for
about-
lethal, but still.
To me, it's a minor one, but it really does affect the entire film, is there's really not one metal detector there for staff.
You know, and
Just strolls on in a bodysuit, nobody says nothing.
I can actually kind of figure that one out. You notice that when he was walking around with the jumpsuit and the helmet, he was never near someone else in the same colored jumpsuit.
Yeah.
So long as he stayed away from the team that had that jumpsuit, no one would suspect that he was not part of that team. So he could easily walk around anywhere along the track and no one would be suspicious.
So he Michael Weston did.
He Michael Weston did completely. So long as he's not getting near the team that jumpsuit would be a part of. That was the tricky part. I was like, that was smart of them.
Okay. You mind that?
Yeah, but I mean, I still think the police should.
Okay. Now, let's go with one of the little ones then. I'm going to bring mine up first.
What do you got?
You've worked in a lab, right? You've
Yeah.
worked in a laboratory. I've worked in manufacturing here
both
and there.
worked in this type of environments. Yeah.
Okay. When a guy gets hired to build something, there's normally people breathing down his neck. There's not just, here's a lab, here's what I want you to do, have fun, go play. How did he go from suit to drone without Hammer at least once going, wait a minute? I mean, this is the Iron Man Tony in the cave argument done with Justin Hammer and Ivan Vanko. Is, you weren't watching?
I got two answers for that one.
Fucking me.
One, Justin Hammer.
Fair enough, but he's got people working under him too.
True.
It's
but
not
two,
just his thing.
He did fake Ivan's death, so he'd want to keep Ivan. Basically, need to know basis
Well,
for other employees.
That's the
so
thing, is
he
I
could-
imagine anybody who works for a government contractor's got to sign, they got to have a security clearance
that's
that's
true.
pretty freaking high.
But he had the tools to work on it without needing anyone's help, really. So he might have been told, just do it, and you know, you
But then again, there were armed guards everywhere too. They
They-
couldn't have said, wait a minute.
But then again, they're not aware of what the project's supposed to be. And even when he was like, drone's better, Justin finally accepted, okay, drone. Even though he still wanted to get a suit because the senator. That senator. Now,
Gary Shanley, yeah.
granted, there is something I never caught the first time I watched the movie about the arms hearing. Okay, he's head of this arms defense committee, right?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get the Iron Man technology from Tony.
Yeah.
He even said, "I am no weapons expert." Why is he on that committee? And why is no one else on the
Because
committee?
he's the guy
stepping up?
he's the guy who holds the checkbook. Let me
Well-
ask you something. Why is Hillary Clinton the Secretary of State?
Politics.
Exactly.
Actually,
There's
there
your
is-
answer.
There is a in-universe reason later why he was there.
Yeah, because he's Hydra.
Yeah, but in the movie,
But
before
technically,
that,
since that is covered in a Marvel movie, it's considered canon. We can mention it here for now.
Yeah.
He's Hydra. So Hydra wanted him there. They voted
set
him
it up.
in.
but before that reveal happens,
Speaking
in
of
Civil
which,
War,
I have theories about Trump and Clinton and certain 8 tentacled monsters.
they're probably part of the same beast. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure after each debate they go, Hail Hydra.
But still, the other committee members didn't say anything during that hearing. They were just sitting there. Oh yeah, just nothing.
Yeah,
Even
he's the
when-
only one talking. Not only that, but the way he talks is very unbecoming of a senator.
Yeah, I know. You just want to smack the shit out of him. Even every time I watch it, I'm like, I just want to punch him or something. And even Rhodes is kind of like, you want me to read one line from a
No,
paragraph?
and that's one that irked me too. Why didn't he just refuse?
Refuse
He's
to
talking to an arms committee. He's not talking to the president. He's not talking to a superior general.
You're right, he could have.
The only person, like the president, could have told him, "You have to speak."
Yep, that's a direct order. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that guy, he could have said, "No, either I read the entire report or I refuse to read any of it at all."
Mm-hmm.
And anytime he could have been, why not? Because I'm pro the Iron Man armor, and I'm not going to read parts of a report that would reflect negative when the overall is positive.
Of course, politicians get a degree in law and political.
You can argue all you want.
But I'm just saying, the interesting thing is, just as a side comment, is that tactic is used by lawyers because, well, these people get the same degrees. So it's like, I want you to read just this one line so I can make my point and nothing else.
Then you have the right to refuse.
Yeah, and unfortunately, lawyers do that.
Even then, in a courtroom, you have the right to plead the fifth anytime you want.
But no, I did have a funny comment about that, the whole court arms thing. Him demanding the Iron Man armor. How interesting would that have been if it had been the extremist armor based on the comics, where it was basically a part of Tony inside of him? How funny would that have been? Wait, you want me? What?
No, you literally want me because it's part of me.
It literally
comes out of my body. You want it, come take it, but it's not going to be pretty.
That would have been.
See, the reason I couldn't have been Iron Man right there. We want your suit. You can't have it. We will come take it. Best of luck. I would have gotten full Liam Neeson on there. You want it? Good luck. Because let me ask you something. How many fighter planes did you lose because of Iron Man? That was me trying not to hurt you. You want to go toe to toe? That's fine. But once again,
did they ever do a dark series in the comics where Tony just went against to take over the whole world?
Not Tony. Norman Osborn as the Iron Patriot.
Yeah, when he redid Shield into Hammer and stuff.
And he took over, the Dark Avengers took over the U.S. government.
Wow.
But as far as I know, Tony's never actually willingly and
maliciously
went after the American government. No. But now that you have the Scarlet Witch and you have Tony, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't. But all I'm saying is that, why wasn't Tony more obvious in saying you would be very stupid in trying to take my armor? And then why again did he not go straight home and change all of the passwords to his armor, lock up all of his arc reactors just in case?
Well, he trusts
Rhodey.
And Rhodey was,
and I trust you, but somebody says they want my guns doesn't mean I'm going to leave them out for you.
Well, and Black Widow's report on Tony Stark during her investigation, and keep an eye on him, even stated that he had a series of redundancies to prevent anyone from taking the suits. However, basically any unauthorized access of the weapon and technologies, meaning that Tony and obviously Pepper Potts and Rhodes, and maybe even Happy, would have access to the suits and be able to use them in emergencies. So, and even Rhodey knew the entire time he could, because remember, when he went up to the party saying, you need to stop him or I'm about to, because he was about to go downstairs to get a suit. And then Potts like, let me take care of it. And then he waited, but then he said, nope, going out, he went and got a suit. Meaning that Tony told him, you have access. If need be, you can get in the suit and you can use it, because I trust you.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Tony Stark gets taken again, he doesn't want to have to worry about helicopters. Now there's another Iron Man suit to help find.
I mean, no matter how many locks you put on in place, if you have someone the master key, they can still get in.
Well,
and even Rhodes said, I'm doing this to protect them.
And there's one I want to debunk right now, just so people I mean, I've heard this argument every time I tell people we talk about this movie with them. The reason Rhodes can pilot the suit so well is because Rhodes is a pilot. He understands aerodynamics. He understands flight physics. He teaches combat flying.
Yep.
That's why he knows how to fly the suit, even though he may have never been in it in his life.
Yeah, he would be a quick learn on...
He would have looked at his hands, went thruster, boots, thruster. Okay, I get it. Equal levels, flight.
And even at first, when he was coming out of the garage hole, he was kind of uneasy floating. But after that point,
but then again,
he was good.
Tony Stark, once again, is not a pilot. That's why it took him longer.
Yep. To learn how to fly.
Yep. If you guys ever watch the show Powers, they cover that. Superheroes in that show, the reason the good ones who know how to fly often have a pilot's license.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world. And I mean, there's different names for what we would commonly, call, like basically in a car turning left or right.
Yeah.
For a pilot, that's the yaw.
Well, yeah. Just think about.
That's a different axis that they even.
Well, I mean, there's two different ways to turn a plane, from what I remember of avionics, because I was Air Force ROTC in high school. We learned this kind of stuff, which is there's two ways to turn a plane. You decrease the power on one engine and increase the power on the other. To turn left, you do left engine goes down, right engine goes up. You start turning left.
Yeah.
Or rudder.
Yep.
Turn it left, or you turn it till it's pointing left, and you will start to turn left.
Yeah.
You turn it towards right.
Those are whatever system you use to achieve that yaw control, but that's how you do it.
And the thing is, like, most military pilots will use the rudder, which makes a hard, choppy, you feel every bit of the force in that kind of turn. And then a lot of commercial airliners, they use the cut power on one engine, increase power on another engine to push it so that it's a much smoother turn. Mm-hmm. But just to cover that, Rhodes would know all this.
Yeah, but that's also why, and it's just finishing up that little point, if anyone who's sitting inside of a cockpit or has worked on the components for a cockpit, or if you're a flight sim enthusiast, some throttles actually have 4 different throttle sticks. That's because that's a different engine. So you can be like, put more power on the right engines and then less power on the left engine so I can get that turn better.
Okay.
And that's why. So I mean, when you fly, it's a whole different way of controlling your vehicle. So Rhodes would have the innate training and knowledge already, so he would learn and do it faster than Tony would have done. Tony took a lot longer to get to that point. So Tony was more used to the suit and flying and maneuvering, but Rhodes picked it up quick because he's, like you said, he was training pilots. He was advocating a manned jet's always better than an unmanned jet. Okay. So.
And then here's another minor one.
Yeah.
Who was watching the bird?
That actually brings up another point too. All right.
So, well, no, answer mine first.
Okay.
I don't want you to go off on a tangent until I get an answer.
Yeah,
Who's watching that bird?
At what part?
All right. He leaves the country.
Okay. So his actual bird.
Well, remember, he tells Justin Hammer, I want my bird from Russia.
Yes.
I want my bird.
I want my bird.
Who was watching the bird? Why couldn't he just say, hey, get in contact with this guy, bring my bird, he'll bring my bird over?
Yeah.
I want my damn bird.
And actually, that's the point I was going to make was, how hard is it for, not Hammer, because obviously Justin Hammer's character is an idiot, but his hired people to go, all right, well, where do you live? Who has the bird? All right, whoop, here's your bird. Because he even said, that's not my bird.
But then it turned out to be his bird.
No, he was okay with the bird.
But it wasn't his bird.
But it wasn't his bird. He knew right away, that's not my bird. I want my bird.
Which is an amazing feat within itself.
Which was actually a very simple request to all he was asking for, and Justin couldn't even do that.
You see, but here's the thing to me. You said Justin was an idiot.
Yeah.
I disagree. I believe he is very smart for an average person. But when you're dealing with super scientists such as Ivan Vanko or Tony Stark, you're going to look like an idiot. He's the dumbest smart guy in the room as opposed to being the smartest dumb guy.
He's more business oriented out of the 3, definitely, while Tony and Ivan have just the raw talent to get the product.
See, they have the ability to make something everybody wants. Hammer has the way of marketing your product better than anybody you've ever met.
I mean, clearly he has to still be in business to compete with Stark Industries.
Even with all the crap. He's the Jimenez of the Iron Man world. Yeah.
The ex-wife.
Okay, I just want people to understand. Jimenez is a reliable pistol, as in it will reliably malfunction every time you use it. One shot, it didn't feed the next shot right.
It's still
that's Hammer Tech.
Yeah, and I give every manufacturer a chance, and I can attest I've seen it. Got our hands on a Jimenez or a Jimenez, and it did that literally every time. So it's guaranteed to.
Yeah, I mean, it is reliable. They will tell you it's reliable, and they are not misadvertising.
If you're going to a gun show to get a cheap defensive weapon, please don't buy those. Buy anything.
High Point.
High Point all the way. Just don't get those.
By the way, we are in no way at all being funded by either Jimenez nor High Point, but we are open to offers.
Definitely.
But no, like I said, it's like I just realized that they are like the Jimenez. It's like, it's great marketing. It is reliable. It's not a lie. They can't say they're lying. It's reliable. Reliably fucks up every chance it gets. And that's Hammer Tech. The mother-in-law. The ex-wife. The ex-wife, yeah. This thing will destroy your life. Yeah, because when it doesn't work, you die.
Yeah, he was selling it. It was like, wow, that's impressive. And then when he finally uses it, it just ding, and then all Tony says Hammer Tech, and Rhodes like, yeah.
But yeah, you see, he didn't lie. He said it would completely ruin your life, and when that thing doesn't work for you in combat, it ruins your life.
Yeah. Now,
he never said it would ruin the other guy's life.
Since we're discussing about the part where the final battles take place, there is something I have to go more about Ivan's character, Mickey Rourke's character, Ivan.
Yeah.
Is that, and I think this is where the complaints for the movie comes in, is that the villain was written very weakly. Essentially because, okay, he makes a superior flying armored suit, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you keep the helmet on constantly to fight the other two suits?
Well, obviously that wasn't the problem, though.
It was, though. But when he attacked him, this helmet went on. Nothing got through. And then, I'm going to talk and gloat without the helmet on.
Because all bad guys gloat.
Yeah, but Mickey, the way you see him throughout the movie, for the most part...
He's a smart villain.
He's just supposed to be a smart villain. But then he makes this completely idiotic choice to attack them without your faceplate on?
He got cocky. Is the best way I could describe it. Is he walked into that combat situation going, I already know how this suit works. I already know how that suit works. I've got enough drones to back me up.
Well, they took out the drones before he got there.
Yeah, which means all their big guns were dropped. If the mother-in-law had worked and they hadn't used it, he would have been pissed. He was trying to get the mother-in-law out of or the ex-wife out of the way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Rhodes at that point would have been pretty much nearly out of ammo, which...
Yeah.
That's a whole other issue with the War Machine armor. And it would be down to Tony's basic repulsor weaponry. And
exactly. Which
Rhodes
the whip thing could have handled. His suit could have handled.
Yeah.
So he was cocky, going in, yeah, I took all the big guns.
He should have kept the helmet on.
The laser.
Well, no,
Tony's laser thing was one-time use.
One-time use, and then he used
exactly.
it and then it's gone.
He should have waited on that.
Well, no, they were surrounded. He knew it was time to use it. He was waiting, but he was like...
They still would have been able to take them out hand-to-hand. They were doing just fine before.
I don't know, man. Those suits
the BMGs on the freaking shoulder mounts for the drones.
Well, I mean, Rhodes probably running.
Of course, then again, we hit one of my favorite things, which is a plot hole for that scene. He can take over smart TVs. He can hack anything. He can hack Rhodey's freaking suit. He can't hack these drones.
Actually, he failed. Drivers failed to hack the suit every time. It was Natasha who used the Justin's direct access to bypass all of Ivan's security.
Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to do the same for the suits. For the drones.
Shut them down. Yeah, no.
Not shut them down. Turn them around.
She could have shut them down, though.
Can put me in control of the drones as opposed to Vanko.
Yeah.
And then that would have turned into a much different fight.
It would have.
Return to sender, explode.
Actually, that would have been a better fight. I mean, granted, have Tony...
Yeah, because he had the big badass whip suit. Watch him take out a bunch of drones.
Have Tony and Rhodes take out half of the suits by themselves. Do that fight.
Oh, the drones, yeah.
Yeah, the drones. And then when the other ones come in, Natasha finally goes, hey, you have control now. Yeah. Then he comes in, they send the drones out, he takes them out, they're going, oh. And then that would have actually been a better way to do that.
Yeah.
To me, of course, he kept his faceplate on the entire fight.
See, and then the other thing. Now I want control of Vanko's suit.
He probably didn't put any remote access into it.
I doubt it because he showed up on the radar thing.
Well, radar...
He showed up as the question mark. It's like, wait, we got something big coming.
Yeah, well, that's just radar, though.
I mean, I still like to think that if he can electronically open and close his helmet...
Yeah.
He's probably got some remote access in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah, or otherwise, I mean, it's kind of like with Tony Stark is what do you do when you don't have a suit with you?
Yeah.
See, Vanko would have thought of that first. Oh, what if I don't have my suit? It flies. It's a big metal suit. Yep. I'll just make it come to me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I hope Tony Stark comes up with that idea of a suit that comes to him one day.
That would be great. Maybe in Iron Man 3 they might do something like that.
Iron Man 4.
Oh, yeah, 4, yeah. Oh, wait, the Avengers?
No, you mean Captain America Civil War? All those great Iron Man movies?
No, Civil War is more of a Winter Soldier movie. That's not really an Iron Man or Captain America movie.
It's not really, because to me, the amount of screen time for most of those characters are about the same as
Yeah, but plot
A
wise,
Slipknot
and
from
the narrative
Suicide
is
Squad.
from start to end more about the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Iron Man plot holes.
how about those sick beats at his birthday party during the Rhodey and Tony fight? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, considering that they were playing in the helmets. It's like, helmets on. Wait, I'm still getting all these music. Yeah, that was a funny scene. It was a little bit of humor. It I like to believe that in real life, Robert Downey Jr. couldn't get through that sentence without cracking up. Hey, give me some sick beats to beat my friend's ass to. And then he just starts breaking down laughing. I like to think that's actually Robert Downey Jr. going, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. What's happened to my career?
When he pissed in the suit.
It's like, oh yeah, how do you piss in the suit?
Just like
that. Don't worry, it's got a filtration system for his urine.
Yeah.
Not his blood,
Urine.
but his urine.
Yeah, well, and making a joke we just came across on my little issue right there.
He can already filter fluids and bodily fluids at that. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in that was, she wants the Gallagher, and he blows up the watermelon.
I was like,
had to be quick to catch that one.
Yeah,
and old.
The newer generations really won't know Gallagher and his smashing of watermelon and other fruit humor.
Yeah,
even I only caught some of his act stuff, and I was like,
yeah,
people really find this funny, huh?
People thought that was hilarious because he'd stretch it out. When is he gonna do it? When's he gonna? Because he tried to catch people off guard when they wouldn't lift up their little plastic sheets.
Yeah, I guess.
Which was the funny part to me. It's like I'm waiting for that somebody didn't get it quick enough.
Kind of like in a haunted house, and you have a line, and the scare person is waiting for that one. There's that.
There's my person.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
But
okay, minor little plot holes to that one. It's like, okay, why you would think that the second the War Machine armor went off the Stark system, Tony would have been somehow alerted. Like, once Hammer put his software onto it, Stark would have been like, wait, oh no, the War Machine armor just went dark? No, initiate this right now. We're shutting that mother down.
Of course, Rhodes wasn't happy with that either. He was like, no, hardware.
Just hardware. But, but that's the thing. Is like, he should have just been like, no, it's off the Stark system. I didn't mind him having the armor. I trust him to use it as long as I still have control.
Or at least where
because
weak, easily hackable software like Hammer stuff.
Because what happens when it's not Rhodey in the suit?
Yeah.
I got to assume they have more pilots than planes, not more planes than pilots.
Yeah, and that would be my concern. As even I had a friend like, if I was Tony Stark and I trusted Rhodey, my concern would be, look, I trust you in the suit. I don't trust your superiors letting you stay in the suit. What if they put some other person in that suit who goes off?
Yeah. Once again, things we'll talk about in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Putting the wrong person in a suit.
Yes.
How the suit is one size fits all for up to 3 different body types.
Indeed.
But no, I mean, once again, that's the whole reason I thought they brought in Don Cheadle, was the fact that they had to make a suit that fits Robert Downey Jr. fit onto Rhodey. That's not gonna fit Terrence Howard.
Yeah. Even though I still liked him as
I liked his character. I liked the banter.
But I agree, Don Cheadle really. But then again, he was in the movies where War Machine, Rhodes was actually a more prevalent character in the suits, as opposed to he's there, it's hinted at, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And trying to go over all these different ones. They keep popping up and then dismissing because we're mid conversation. Should really write these down more. But okay, a minor one to me is, why was he such a dick to all the other millionaires at the Monaco Raceway? It's like, you're after Tony Stark's car. It's the only big blue car in the entire race. Fuck you, red car. Fuck you, orange car. It's like, here, they weren't even coming at him. One went right past him, not looking for any trouble, and he's just like, nope, in half.
I guess he was just having fun with his new toy.
Dick moves.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was being a dick on the racetrack.
See, and then, with the cars still racing around, it would have made it even harder for help to get there. No way Happy would have got there if there was still cars coming at him.
Well, he was just going a pose trap to get to him faster.
Exactly. So the more cars going at him, the harder it is.
Which was actually with the way those cars designed, if Happy had hit them, he would have got some air.
Yeah, he would have launched because their wedge would have gone right under.
Yeah.
And then, You know what I don't? Yeah, another thing I don't understand is why didn't they just do a drive-by, drop the armor off? Like taking the car, I understand. Take the car because it's quicker.
Yeah.
Throw the fucking armor. It is an armor thing. It's not gonna break the suitcase. And then he could have hit Ivan Vanko while Iron Man's already putting the suit on. Thus, a game plan.
Yep.
Not just what do I do? What do I do? Throw the armor out.
I think it was just general panic. Since remember, these aren't exactly trained soldiers who can calm themselves and do this. Yes, Tony's been seeing action in the Iron Man suit, but he's been caught off guard.
See, to me, this is the stupidity of somebody as a superhero. To me personally, if I was a superhero, I'd have strategy plans that I've already set up with people. Hey, I already have it with you. I have code words for you. If I'm in trouble, you'll know because based on my code phrase, which will not be mentioned on the web show.
Yeah.
Nobody will know our passphrase for I'm in trouble, meet me somewhere.
Yeah. But I think the movie Kick-Ass kind of dabbled into this concept of, as an earlier hero, you don't have that figured out yet.
He's not really a hero. He's been doing it a while.
Like even take real-world professional criminals, the ones that you don't really hear about, the ones who live in mansions because they're that good, right? When they first started, they weren't professionals. They did crimes out of passion, or like, hey, I can actually do this. It was opportunistic. But then over time, they realized, I got to be smarter, and they made it into a career, and they didn't make the sloppy mistakes.
Not Lex Luthor.
Yeah. But Tony was still high and mighty, and I'm untouchable, which this movie is more of a awakening of you're not. Even though the first movie kind of started that, this one, that was Ivan's actual plan was, you're not untouchable, you're not above everyone else, and essentially I made the god bleed is the point he was making.
Yeah.
And if you make a god bleed, no one's going to believe in it. Granted, that's still not a good long-term plan, but
I think he was missed. I think there may be a cultural breakdown there. He assumed that anybody who would do that in Russia would, be the untouchable god, the Stalin kind of thing.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that coin is that in America's like, oh, look, another celebrity who's famous for being famous.
Yeah.
It's like, look, it's the Paris Hilton with a robot suit. Or Kim K. Or whatever.
Granted, if someone like that exists in our world and actually did bring about peaceful relations between the East and the West and everything and Midwest and all that, I mean, that would be a big deal.
He started peace negotiations, made it a much harder fight to deal with.
Well, I mean, he'd just go in and take out threats. Instead of the whole red tape the government was stuck behind, he literally stopped threats. He saved civilians.
He privatized world peace, yes.
Yeah, and it's like really how, I mean, obviously the senator we find out is part Hydra, that's why they want the tech, but the public would stay behind him all the way.
I personally want to see Hydra get the armor. For one reason.
Alright.
Armored Red Skull. It's a thing.
It is.
It exists.
But there's just one problem.
And it is beautiful.
As much as I want Red Skull to come back, Hugo Weaving will not do the role.
He's already stated he's willing to.
No, he said he wouldn't.
I've seen on multiple things online that he said he'd be willing
I'd have
to do Red Skull one more time.
I've heard nothing but that he refused to, and that's why we haven't seen the return of Red Skull. Because I want him to come back. I thought that was one of my favorite elements of Captain America, was the fact that he played it, and he played Red Skull.
And there's nothing I want more than to see an armored Red Skull, because then the only thing you could really do after an armored Red Skull is an armored Captain America. I want it. I want to see that full body suit, mecha, Iron Patriot armor if he has to.
Technically, if we go by what happens in the comics and Bucky takes over, he already is partially armored.
Well, I wouldn't call that armored. It's a high-tech prosthesis.
Oh, yes.
Allusion to the movie, because that's a quote, yeah.
Speaking of, side note, movie, you've seen the footage of the one kid who needed a prosthetic arm, and
the
Tony
one that
Stark,
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
brought
Jr.
to
came
him?
as Tony Stark as an Iron Man one for him.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It would, but, that guy's got pissed off because he didn't have the rest of the suit.
But still, I mean, that was really
That'd tick
cool.
me off. I'd be like, yeah, I'm missing an arm, and now I only have one Iron Man arm?
I will say this, for, Robert
But yes,
Downey
that was
Jr.,
a beautiful thing for
Chris
him to do.
Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, all these actors and
They
stuff.
show up to a lot of hospitals.
They do a lot of great stuff, and guys, if you ever come across this, we just want to, thank you. That is, you make those kids' lives, and you let us know that, you're not some stuck-up actor, and
It's not even that they're
Which is why
stuck
we
up.
enjoy watching.
It's
'Cause
they
we know
understand
that,
that they're fans of the reason they're famous.
Yes, and we thank
See,
you for remembering that.
Other people I'd like to mark down that I appreciate the hard work you do is John Barrowman.
Oh well, yeah.
That man adores his fans.
Yes.
And honestly, if I was going to have one person in the Marvel Universe as somebody, it's him. I want to see John Barrowman in a Marvel movie. I don't care who he plays. He could play Captain Jack Harkness for all I care. He got the Vortex Manipulator working, and he's in the Marvel Universe now.
Oh, wow. Him meet the Hulk.
What?
Him meet the Hulk.
Him hit on the Hulk.
He would hit on the Hulk, but that's the thing. Him hitting the Hulk would just...
Him hitting on Robert Downey Jr.
And they couldn't kill him.
But no, I mean, honestly, every time I've been to a convention where I see him, oh, he's staying late. He's going to sign more autographs. He's doing this for the fans.
Yeah.
He's taking pictures with the fans when other people are like, no, you got to wait for the photo op.
Yeah, like our first MegaCon, were you near me when he did this?
What do you do?
He was late to his booth to go sign. He was running in through the main room to get to it faster, and there was a kid in a wheelchair in the Darvos costume.
Yeah.
And the dad could you do a picture? He's like, yeah, I'll do it real quick. But let's do it real quick. And he took a picture. Didn't charge kid, took time out, even though he was running late. He still did that, and then went. I have seen some actors and actresses at these conventions who would have walked right by.
Once again, not going to mention any names for that because, once again, that's not what John Barrowman refuses to say when he sees something terrible about another person.
Yeah, but even then, even those people who don't necessarily appreciate their fans much, they do a lot of hard work, and we do appreciate the role.
Yeah, but you know when an actor's running through the paces and when he's truly enjoying himself, and that was one of the things.
But that's kind of diverging from what we do here. We just want.
Well, you wanted to do a thank you. I got to throw in my
That's true.
favorite thank you because I've
all the
always
people
loved
in
it.
Hollywood, behind the scenes, on the camera.
People who
Thank you.
appreciate your fans. Thank you.
Thank you. But okay, but Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
Is there anything else you can think of that? I mean, anything? Maybe just side comment, humorous times, or something you might do different in the movie if you were.
Well, things that I would do different. I'd do everything different as Iron Man.
Okay. Well,
let's see. One of my biggest ones for Iron Man that I think he should have done differently is maybe not had the suitcase armor be so difficult to put on.
Well, it wasn't that difficult to put on. It was actually pretty quick.
Well,
Basically, pop, grab it, stretch, and then it was on.
To me, that took too long.
That was a on-the-fly, fast suit. Considering all his other suits had to be installed by basically an assembly line drones.
Pretty much every suit pre that had to be done by the assembly line drones, and maybe one in the Avengers. Because I remember him landing on the thing, stuff comes off, walks in, meets Pepper. Oh, here's Agent Coulson.
But even then, it's taken off. There's only been 2 suits in the Marvel Universe so far that he has attached itself to him without the robotics.
Iron Man 3 in this one.
No, the Avengers. His suit, when he was talking with Loki, he got thrown out the window. The new suit that he hadn't tested yet. And then, of course, was it Extremis one?
Well,
no, it wasn't Extremis.
Extremis was the
villains.
chemical.
Yeah, but it was his mental link suit in the third movie.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty much the same thing. He had the wristbands, and then he upgraded to the next one.
But essentially, those are the only 2 so far we've seen that does not require a series of robots to take off the suit. He can detach the suit manually if need be, as shown in both Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3. But to get it on though and get it off effectively, it's a process.
Yeah.
But then it should be if it's going to be a realistic suit like that to be effective.
Another thing I would really think with Whiplash that really bothered me was the fact that why did he have all the drones at the Stark Expo? One drone each should have done you. Have the others waiting as backup. See, he went out and he had, it's like, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. Wait.
What about the Guard?
Just one each.
What about the Guard?
Well, the National Guard?
Well, I mean, that's the Air Guard, National Guard, and Coast
I've
Guard.
been told not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. What are they going to have? A robot in white sneakers with a spatula to flip burgers?
Hey,
It's the National Guard.
Respect to the Guard, they actually do.
I agree. I'm not, but if I don't throw a joke in there, I'm not actually being polite.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that they are the ones like, oh, we need more troops over here. The Guard has to go out over there and do it. They don't just stay home. They actually have to go out and do all that shit. But anyway, But you are right. They are the
I thought
joke
it was the
branch.
reservists.
No, the guards included. Because
Oh.
I talked to the recruiters about that, and they're like, no, we go over there too. We're like,
So Coast Guard.
They're pretty much we're the grunts of the grunts.
Yeah.
They need extra hands. We got to go over there. But anyways, but I mean, yeah, they are the joked about branch. But you are correct. Why not stagger them? Well, the thing is, he did kind of stagger them. He sent out most of them to start wreaking havoc at Stark Expo to try to ruin Tony's
And then
legacy.
how bad was that digital setup to where it's like there's a kid in a helmet? Must be Iron Man.
But how much do you think the kid flipped in his character-wise in his mind
When he thought it was him. Yeah.
Thanks, kid.
And then have Iron Man just ruin it. Thanks, kid. Fuck, that wasn't me.
Basically it's that commercial with the Darth Vader kid in the car all over again, or before that commercial. But yeah, right. The target software was kind of like, really, it's kid, it's not Tony. But then again, they're drones, and it was programmed to wreak havoc with the Iron Man suit as its main priority, and that match is close. No. But I did like how the drones were designed, like with the army ones that had the support that bolted into the ground to do their weapons and stable fire.
That was the best one.
That was actually really good, really well designed.
Until you gotta run away.
Oh yeah.
See, this is why if Tony had remote access, it would have been great for me. Oh, let's drop those things. Oh crap. It made me wonder, did Whiplash have it too?
He actually did have it on his suit when he had Rhodes.
No, the little things that plant to the ground.
Yeah, he had it when he put Rhodes
having
down.
Remote
it
access.
grabbed him, but then Rhodes got out from under it. Still, it was kind of like.
So I guess it didn't land. It just widened.
It
so
widened
therefore
and it tried to attach, but it just.
So you have better base. Well, I mean, I think it was just widened.
Yeah.
So that way you had a better ground. You know, you were more level.
Yeah.
Or what is the word? Grounded. Yeah. You know,
Level,
more planted.
More surface area. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, the expo that kind of reminds me of but it's. You can maybe consider it a plot hole. It's not really. It was a gamble. All right, Howard Stark left clues to Tony about how to create the new element. Right.
Yeah.
The only clue that really was there was the expo model. If someone during that time had just damaged it in storage or just tossed it, crap.
That is why he added it into the intro for the Stark Expo. The one that Tony showed in the footage, it shows the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And then even S.H.I.E.L.D. kept a couple of backup copies for the bloopers.
Yeah.
When Stark was drunk and talking about his butt and leaving the note to Tony. This is Howard Stark's butt. Yeah. Which just shows that Howard Stark was human.
Yeah.
And not just the guy from Mad Men.
Well, before we see the Captain America movie.
Yeah, it's like they change. Yeah, they like to change up who your Howard Starks are every 5 minutes. So, of course, then again, they do that with how many Spider-Mans. I mean,
yeah.
See, this is why I look forward to the next Deadpool movie, and maybe he'll make a couple of Spider-Man comments. With Spider-Man.
He will.
Yeah, because he already did the P. Stu one.
Maguire, Garfield, or
what?
He's too young. So Maguire or
Wait, the new one, but he's only 17. Oh, well, that never stopped me before.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Oh, by the way, the human villain from the movie Avatar, the General.
Okay.
That is my vote for Cable for the new Deadpool movie, just so everyone's aware. Just so you know, going to get this out there.
Right there, huh?
That's who I want.
Okay, all right. That's a fair.
If not, I mean, I'll take John Barrowman in that role too. Something Lang
as Cable
in a Deadpool movie.
No, I will give Barrowman this.
He's got range.
He can play anything, and yeah, he would knock out.
But yeah, what's his name? Stephen Lang or something like that.
Yeah, Stephen Lang.
Yeah, see, the nerd strikes again. No, it's just.
Well, it's better than Nerd Awakening. You know, let's not dabble in this.
No, let's stay out of the Star Wars for now. I'll throw a temper tantrum.
We're probably gonna lose some people when we get to Star Wars, because.
Oh yeah, that isn't even a movie. That's a cult. You've got 50%. We are really going off the rails here on this one, aren't we?
Yeah.
We made it from Iron Man into
and even Marvel, and then
actors, and then Deadpool, and Only because I remembered that's who I want for my cable. That's who I vote for. If anybody from Marvel wants to hear this, Stephen Lang is your cable.
Okay, well then to wrap things up, is there any other points about Iron Man 2 that comes to mind, or like I said, general comments, maybe minor plot holes, inconsistencies, or if you've actually just come up with a major plot hole that could kill the entire movie?
Can we add in the mini, the mini-sode thing that came with this, where the Mandarin was in jail?
That's actually Iron Man 3.
Oh, so we can't add that little portion into this?
Do you want to go over that right now?
I want to know is how did Hammer keep all his money to protect himself in jail? He had guards. He had, like, big guys watching his back while he was in jail. How did he keep his money after they found out not only... Well, I guess... he wasn't Hydra. We know that.
No.
That's hands down he wasn't Hydra. So don't give me that argument. But, okay. They find out that he is trying to... He broke a guy out of prison.
He killed someone. He faked this guy's death.
Trying to currently kill a human being in the United States of America using military-grade weaponry.
And because of his product, he endangered countless civilians. Who knows how many got hurt
Not
or killed
to mention how many government laws... I mean, hey, government weapons. Those are our suits. Those are our mechs. Don't...
Yeah.
That's my Gundam. Let go.
Well, actually, no. His contract was otherwise canceled or revoked. So he was not working.
It was neither. It was currently on pause.
Well, we got three different what it was. We don't know which.
All right, here's the thing. I don't think they don't have a third option as far as I know.
Suspended or revoked is what it is?
Suspended. I think it actually was suspended, but Tony Stark was being a dick and trying to rip him because he wouldn't leave him alone. You push me, I'll say stuff that's almost the truth.
But then, even then, if it's suspended, would anything he creates at that time, and if it's not renewed,
I feel like intellectual property. Yeah, I feel like, especially with Hydra, we want all of your intellectual property.
Well, even then, he kept telling Ivan that they want a suit. They want suits.
Yeah, so he still had
it. Might be, look, you'll get your full contract back if you get us a suit. So it might have been like,
get us a suit. I feel like that was Hydra. I feel like that was just Gary Shandling going, we need a suit. Yeah. We saw you're working on a suit. Give me a suit.
Clearly, I mean, if I was
they already knew he was working.
I would want that suit too. But like, well, we need that. That's what we were missing before.
That's why he was extra pissed off at the end when he had to present them. Because he realized, like, I don't get a suit now. I got to pin a medal on this asshole.
Yep.
Yeah, jab. But yeah, so honestly, that would be the last I have. The tank is empty. I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure I'm going to think about him in about an hour and go, oh crap, how did I miss that?
Yeah, but I mean, but then that, you know what that really says is that for the most part, the movie was actually pretty well written. And aside, I think, from Ivan having weak characterization in the movie, which might be really the real reason people complain, the rest of the movie was actually done very well, I think. And it covered, it did a lot. It didn't try to do too much. It didn't change up too much, but it worked, So I think it's definitely one of the better sequels.
Yeah, I'll agree. We'll just wait till we get to Iron Man 3.
Yeah, well then, Iron Man 3 next time.
All right, and
after that, I think we should make one little extra note. We've been talking about what to do after Iron Man 3.
Have we?
And a little bit. Okay. But I think here's what we want to do. We want to do someone else's suggestion. So if you're a listener,
the fan-centric episode.
Yeah, if you're listening and you got a movie you'd like us to tear apart, try to find that blaring problem, because if we do one and we can't find it, we'll admit, like we met with the Ghostbusters reboot, for all its problems, there was nothing wrong,
except for every human male was functionally retarded.
Yeah, but that was but there was nothing that could break the plot. I mean, you fix that, it doesn't break the plot, it doesn't change the plot. But the point is, if you got a movie you want us to do, we'll do it. If it even is Star Wars or a Star Trek or any cult classic, if it's an older movie, a newer movie, we'll do it. Yep. Just leave comments on our Facebook, Movie Killers. Right. If you want to leave a comment on the SoundCloud, send me a message.
Just because I want to do it this way, and I'm the kind of a-hole that wants to do it, I'm the one who came up with most of these ideas, so I'm going to come up with this idea next. The fan-centric episode could be three different movies. So if we don't, if you don't know if your movie's going to be in and you listen to the first movie, know that there could very well be 2 on the back end.
Yeah.
That you're completely unaware of. Watch the whole show, and then we may hit your movie. If you do a series of movies, we'll see what we can do if you are the one that's picked.
If it's a trilogy essentially, for as example,
Quadrilogy, anything.
And a saga or a trilogy or just 2 movies, whatever it may be. If the movies are different enough that we don't have to condense them into like pretty much like I love Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, but me and Tom agreed there wasn't really much different in Ghostbusters 2 from the first one, so that's why we were able to do not only the first 2 movies but even go into the reboot and still have a reasonable length podcast for that one. But so if you want to throw suggestions, and it happens to be a trilogy, and we pick it, we'll do the whole trilogy. It may not be in the same podcast. We're going to try to stick to one movie at a time, but we'll do it. Now, if 2 of the movies are just that close, we'll probably condense them together. But anyways, I think that's it for tonight.
Okay. And once again, please send those comments to either SoundCloud, YouTube, or our Movie Killers Facebook page.
Yep.
All right. Good night and good luck.
Yeah. And thanks again, guys. Have a good night.